Okay, what do we got now? Got this beautiful picture of a tree behind me. See it? Where's the giant tree? There's a giant tree looming over Portland. Very cool. Okay, so anyways, footsteps in the sand leading me on. Now that seems to be a San Rafael joke. Like, when is he going to be an Ninja Turtle? Because of what I've been through, how long it's been, I still haven't accomplished my... It should have been so easy to do this. It should have been ridiculously easy to do this. You know? What the hell? I dream about this person, come across her. She's impossibly timed in a way that's like trying to get my attention and give me the most romantic experience every time I give it to her. In a way that should have been impossible to witness. Shouldn't even been possible. Ridiculous. Really need to not have a cigarette ever again. Okay. Okay. I haven't had one. Sorry. Okay, so looking up. What am I doing? Looking up. I see the scaffold, the hooded figure with its head on the block, the hooded figure of the executioner, the sharp blade of the axe glinting in the burning sun. That's funny because it connects to Fairfax, the dream I had of everything, the sun, and Fairfield goes to Best Buy for a USB drive to make it to this world. So, anyways. Okay. The axe falls. The victim's severed head rolls off the wooden platform. The hood comes off. My head, Raceland whispered feverishly, twisting his thin hands together in anguish. The executioner, laughing, removes his hood, revealing my face. Raceland murmured, his fear spreading through his body like a malign growth. So it was basically telling me that I was being too paranoid. Kind of. Making him sweat and chill by turns. Clutching at his head, he tried to banish the evil visions that haunted his dreams continually. Yeah. See, I mean, I was scared to tell you what I was thinking just now. And I was scared to tell you what I thought it was actually saying. It was telling me to stop doing that. It's telling me to stop doing that. It seems like. Night after night. And lingering to disturb his waking hours as well. Turning all he ate or drank to ashes in his mouth. True. Wasn't that today I threw out something because of being paranoid? That there was a possibility somebody made it into my car or something. Anyways. But they would not depart. Master of past and present. Raceland laughed hollowly. True. I obviously don't know what's going to happen. Enough. Because, I mean, I have to make sure it's real. I have to. Bitter, mocking laughter. I am master of nothing. All this power, and I am trapped. Trapped. True. I am trapped in withdrawal right now, and it's absolutely horrible. It's not that big of a deal, though. Following in his footsteps, knowing that every second that passes has passed before. Yeah, I've been through this. I see people I've never seen, yet I know them. I hear the echo of my own words before I speak them. This face, his hands pressed against his cheeks. Now it was going to someone else. This face, his face, not mine, not mine. Who am I? Am I my own executioner? I was really mad at somebody today. I feel like it's asking me if I really want to stop myself from going through with this. So it'd be executing my son, I guess, that I met. Because he wouldn't exist. That's really weird. I'm just upset because I was deciding, I don't want to be with somebody that's fake or that's going to leave right when things get rough or something. I want it to be real. I want it to, I don't want it to wait until I have a bunch of money or something. I want it to wake up to the importance of helping me now to prove that, it's strong. Because people are trying to convince her not to believe in herself and me. And it's totally messing both of us up right now. If I had her help, it would be ridiculously a huge difference. It's made people not want to support what I'm doing. Because, what has she shared about me? It's totally stupid. It's totally stupid. It hasn't helped me. It hasn't been helpful to me. It's been hurtful to me. Hurtful enough that she's going to lose years of my life, or already has. And that's really bothering me right now. Enough to, I guess, as they put it, execute my son. He never exists, even though I made that song. I gotta stop being negative, I guess. But if I give somebody the message that she won no matter what, how much is she going to step all over me? His voice rose to a shriek. In a frenzy, not realizing what he was doing, Raceland began to claw at his skin with his nails as though his face were a mask, but he could tear it down from his bones. Stop, Raceland. What are you doing? Stop, please. I feel like it's describing the feeling of withdrawal, and knowing a cigarette would kind of change it, but it wouldn't make it go away. You could barely hear the voice. Firm but gentle hands grasped his wrists, and he fought them, struggling, but then the madness passed. Weird. See, how is my brain capable of having these thoughts while reading? I'm so curious where they come from. It's difficult to think that I'm intelligent enough to do that. As I was reading Gentle Hands, I thought it was son grasping his wrists. For some reason, I thought that was his mom. And then madness passed meant make her happy. The dark and frightful waters in which he had been drowning receded. I was planning on going to a bar, and I do kind of want to drink. Leaving his calm and drained. Once more, he could see and feel and hear. His face stung. It is cold. Looking down, he saw blood on his nails. I haven't cared to paint them. I haven't even cared about how I look or anything. I've been pretty down. Raceland, it was Chrysania's voice. Lifting his gaze, he saw her standing before him, holding his hands away from his face, her eyes wide and filled with concern. I'm all right, Raceland said coldly. Leave me alone. But even as he spoke, he sighed and lowered his head again, shuddering as the horror of the dream washed over him. Pulling a clean cloth from a pocket, he began to dab at the wounds on his face. I was sent the thought, you want to use something, don't you? You want to drink or smoke or something, don't you? No, you're not, Chrysania murmured, taking the cloth from his shaking hand and gently touching the bleeding gouges. Please let me do this, she said, as he snarled something unintelligible. I thought that never mind. I know you won't let me heal you, but there is a clear stream near. Come, drink some water, rest, and let me wash these. I felt like that was reminding me how I was thirsty and how I do have a bunch of delicious water. Sharp, bitter words were on Raceland's lips. I felt like that was dang. I don't want to go that way, maybe. Maybe I just want to walk to the bar, actually. It's actually not that far. Maybe a good exercise. He raised a hand to thrust her away. But then he realized that he didn't want her to leave. The darkness of the dream receded when she was with him. The touch of warm human flesh was comforting after the cold fingers of death. And so he nodded with a weary sigh. I thought I was saying, so you're going there? And you're going to ignore that don't have food? I don't think I can. I think I need to get some food for my journey. Her face pale with anguish and concern, Chrysania put her arm around him to support his faltering steps, and Raistlin allowed himself to be led through the forest, acutely conscious of the warmth and the motion of her body next to his. Oh, hello, people. Sorry for not answering your question. I am reading Dragonlance. I am streaming on my website as well. You can see it on Tweeting 20s. Chrysania put her arm around him to support his faltering steps, and Raistlin allowed himself to be led through the forest. Acutely conscious of the warmth and the motion of her body next to his. Reaching the bank of the stream, the Archmage sat down upon a large, flat rock. Warmed by the autumn sun. Wow, that was bringing me to think of the rock that I have. There are some rocks I have I was planning on giving somebody. Reaching the bank of the stream, the Archmage sat down. I need to adjust my strap then. To like fix this support thing, or just go against this thing for a minute. So it's like okay. Where was it? Chrysania dipped her cloth in the water and, kneeling next to him, cleaned the wounds on his face. Drying leaves fell around them. Muffling sound. Falling into the stream to be whisked away by the water. Raistlin did not speak. His gaze followed the path of the leaves. Oh. Ask me, are you sure you know where you're going? That's true. I don't really know where I'm going. Where am I leaving? Dying leaves fell around them. Muffling sound falling into the stream to be whisked away by the water. Raceland did not speak. His gaze followed the path of the leaves. Walking backwards. Gets the light on the book. He watching as each clung to a branch with its last feeble strength. Watching as the ruthless wind tore it whole. I was sent the thought that I'm wanting things now, tonight, or else, not at all. Maybe I shouldn't. Watching as it swirled in the air to fall into the water, watching us. Watching. I thought it was like reminding me, of course she's going to watch this. Watching as it swirled in... Watching as it was carried off into oblivion by the swift running stream. Looking past the leaves into the water, it's asking me what else she would be doing. He saw the reflection of his face wavering there. He saw 2 long, bloody marks down each cheek. Like she was ready to do it. I was talking about the kisses on the cheeks and throwing the high heels and the Balboa for my ex-girlfriend, Balboa steam gal. He saw 2 long, bloody marks down each cheek. He saw his eyes, no longer mirror-like, but dark and haunted. It's congratulating me for eating enough food today. He saw fear, and he sneered at himself derisively. You think I overreacted, throwing away my food and stuff? Of the small chance that I didn't accidentally hit the unlock button in my pocket. Tell me, said Chrysania hesitantly, pausing in her ministrations and placing her hand over his. Tell me what's wrong. I don't understand. I'm scared that there would be, I don't know, something evil, like looming over people, always trying to get them to mess up or turn against each other so that our country goes to war and gives another country an excuse to do something. It's constant. I need to stop. It would help more, honestly, if there was some kind of proof, I don't know, that was found from what? Thinking a government of another country isn't capable of that. Tell me. Okay, so wait. You've been brooding ever since we left the tower. I was saying paranoid since I got off drugs. Has it something to do with the portal being gone? It's asking me, is it because you should have a lot more views? Or you're like, how is that possible that I don't with what's happening to me? I need to, okay, now I'm getting tons of thoughts. You don't go on Facebook every day. You don't do anything to advertise. With what Astinus told you back in Palanthas, Astinus represents the Wikipedia, and then Palanthas represents renting from in Seattle because of being lazy and just wanting to go through a previous landlord. Braceland did not answer. He did not even look. He did not even look at her. The sun was warm on his black clothes, on his black robes. Her touch was warmer than the sun. That's funny. You know why I did that? Because I was looking at that lady over there. She looked interesting. But somewhere, some part of his mind was coldly balancing, calculating. Tell her? What will I gain? More than if I kept silent. More than if I kept silent? Yes, draw her nearer. Enfold her. Wrap her up. Accustom her to the darkness. I know, he said finally, speaking as if reluctantly, yet for some reason. Still not looking at her as he spoke, but staring into the water. That the portal is in a place near Thorbarden, in a magical fortress called Zaman. This I discovered from Astinus. Letter Z is synchronizing, and then H is tying the knot. That's what I'm trying to do. And then A is caring about it. And then M, I guess that's like having children. M is going to a better place. A is cared about it. And then N is feeding children. This I discovered from Astinus. Not enough people know about me because I'm not on the Wikipedia. How the hell is that even possible? What's going on with me right now? I need to pay for advertisement. Legend tells us that Phistodonolus undertook what some call the Dwarf Gate Wars, so that he could claim the mountain kingdom of Thorbarden for his own. It was reminding me that I threatened to sue, and I could put other people on the spot. Help me or else. Astinus relates much the same thing in his chronicles. It's reminding me of the Green Man Chronicles, my music, and how other fantasy fiction has followed me, and how much more I'll make than other people because of that. and how, oh, right, I just got an idea of adding a button to give people this experience. Other people. Like somebody could go, you know, do it for this person. You know, do it for this person. I want this person to have a beautiful experience. That's spiritual or whatever. Astinus, okay. Raceland's voice grew bitter. See, I've been paranoid that somebody would want to stop me from somehow, you know? Much the same thing, but read between the lines, read closely, as I should have read, but in my arrogance did not, and you will read the truth. I guess it's reminding me that there's nobody stopping me, and that I have the right to do it. And I've been asking if it's okay. And nobody's even there. His hands clenched. Some invisible guy out there. I never had interest in you. Ksenia sat before him, the damp, blood-stained cloth held fast, forgotten as she listened, enthralled. Physodonolus came here to do the very same thing I came here to do. Raceland's words hissed with a strange, foreboding passion. I feel like it's reminding me that I'm an American. Raceland's words, he cared nothing for Thorbarden. Mormons. It was all a sham, a ruse. He wanted one thing, and that was to reach the portal. True. That is why I'm reaching out to them. The dwarves stood in his way, as they stand in mine. Yes, because they've been thinking that I'm a bad influence or something, you know. Or maybe I've just been paranoid about Leroy Jenkins. They controlled the fortress then. They controlled the land for miles around it. The only way he could reach it was to start a war so he could get close enough to gain access to it. And so history repeats itself. For I must do what he did. I am doing what he did. I thought it was letting me know that I listen to paranoid musicians, and it's influencing me. His expression bitter. He stared silently into the water. It's like asking, well, who teases you? Who are you inspired by? What? From what I have read of Astinus's chronicles, Ksenia began, speaking hesitantly, the war was bound to come anyway. There has long been bad blood between the hill dwarves and their cousins. You can't blame yourself. Raceland snarled impatiently. I don't give a damn about the dwarves. They can sink into the Sirion for all I care. Now he looked at her coldly, steadily. That's like as if to remind you what that word means. That means measuring what's incoming, what's entering the body, IRRI together, would mean justice arrived. And then on would mean forcing a person into something that's feeding children, or it's reminding me of a concern I would definitely care about. I know to an extent it has happened to me, but I actually don't know as much as I should. I should be more sure before, doing that. Now he looked at her, coldly, steadily. Right, it's reminding me, why the hell has she not contacted me? You say you have read Aeschylus's works on this. If so, think. What caused the end of the Dwarf Gate Wars? Cressania's eyes grew unfocused as she sought back in her mind, trying to recall. She was kind of just going along with what I was doing, afraid of meeting me, and she hasn't wanted to work. Then her face paled. The explosion, she said softly. The explosion that destroyed the plains of Dargoth. Passing along, where's the Goth? Thousands died, and so did Fistodonolus, Raistlin said with grim emphasis. For long moments, Cressania could only stare at him. Then the full realization of what he meant sank in. Oh, but surely not, she said. She cried, dropping the blood-stained cloth and clutching Raistlin's hands with her own. You're not the same person. The circumstances are different. They must be. You've made a mistake. I felt like right there it was connecting me to Napoleon Dynamite. Because of being, Adam, you're the bomb. Raistlin shook his head, smiling cynically, gently disengaging his hand from hers. He reached out and touched her chin, raising her head so that she looked directly into his eyes. They were from the same area, so it was like impossible for them not to be affected by it, because they were trying to make something that was nostalgic. So it seemed like, in the same way that this author, has to get her ideas from real people. It seems like, Napoleon Dynamite kind of did that too. He did so many things that only I would understand, it seems like. No, the circumstances are not different. I have not made a mistake. I am caught in time, rushing forward to my own doom. How do you know? How can you be certain? I know because the one other perished with Fistodonolus that day. Who? Cressania asked. But even before he told her, she felt a dark mantle of fear setting upon her shoulders, falling around her with a rustle as soft as the dying leaves. An old friend of yours. Raistlin's smile twisted. Denibus. Denibus? She repeated soundlessly. Denibus? Who was that again? Didn't I say that he was the one true king guy? Aslan called or whatever. Wasn't that what I said? Yes, Raistlin replied, unconsciously letting his fingers trace along her firm jaw, cup her chin in his hand. That much I learned from Astinus. If you will recall, your cleric friend was already drawn to Philodonolus, even though he refused to admit it to himself. He had his doubts about the church, much the same as yours. I can only assume that during those final horrifying days in Istar is reminding me of what I went through while I read that book. Philodonolus persuaded him to come. Huh? You didn't persuade me, Christiania interrupted firmly. I chose to come. It was my decision. Of course, Raistlin said smoothly, letting go of her. So it's suggesting, well, I don't really know what was going on, what horrible thoughts entered my head of all the possibilities and everything. Like, what if they did this? What if they did that? But I mean, this girl, I feel like they should have told her that she had to contact me, you know? Because it was totally messing me up. I need to be able to plan my future. It totally affects her. Just to let me know that she was aware of what happened. And because I wouldn't waste my time. I wouldn't waste my time. That would be, a real no. She didn't give me that until I know that she knows. He found his gaze going to her curving lips, her white neck. Wait, now unbidden, he felt his blood stir. Wait, what? Of course, Raistlin said smoothly, letting go of her. He hadn't realized what he was doing, caressing her soft skin. Now unbidden, he felt his blood stir. He found his gaze going to her curving lips, her white neck. He had a sudden vivid image of her in his brother's arms. He remembered the wild surge of jealousy he had felt. This must not happen, he reprimanded himself. It will interfere with my plans. He started to rise, but Christiania caught hold of his hand with both of hers and rested her cheek in his palm. I thought you wouldn't care. No, she said softly, her gray eyes looking up at him, shining in the bright sunlight that filtered through the leaves, holding him with her steadfast gaze. We will alter time, you and I. You are more powerful than Philodonolus. I am stronger in my faith than Denebus. I heard the king priest demands of the gods. I know his mistake. Paladine will answer my prayers as he has in the past. Okay, so I'm confused on who the king priest actually is. Together we will change the ending, you and I. Caught up in the passion of her words, Christiania's eyes deepened to blue. Her skin, cool on Raistlin's hand, flushed a delicate pink. Beneath his fingers, he could feel the lifeblood pulse in her neck. He felt her tenderness, her softness, her smoothness. And suddenly he went down on his knees beside her. She was in his arms. His mouth sought her lips. His lips touched her eyes, her neck. His fingers tangled in her hair. Her fragrance filled his nostrils, and the sweet ache of desire filled his body. His fingers tangled in her hair. That's funny. What he wrote reached her eyes because his lips touched her eyes. Her neck means I still want you. He was down on his knees beside her. She yielded to his fire as she had yielded to his magic, kissing him eagerly. Raceland sank down into the soft carpet of dying leaves. Felt like it was making a joke about Soundgarden because he died. Lying back, he drew Chrysania down with him, holding him in his arms. The sunlight in the blue autumn air was brilliant, blinding him. As I thought about killing my son, somebody said that and was clapping. The sun itself beat upon his black robes with an unbearable heat, almost as unbearable as the pain inside his body. It's letting me know that a child is capable of bothering me as bad as withdrawal. Chrysania's skin was cool to his feverish touch. Her lips like sweet water to a man dying of thirst. That's kind of true. I gave up my hunt, didn't I? Sat down. He gave himself up to the light, shutting his eyes against it. And then the shadow of a face appeared in his mind. A goddess, dark-haired, dark-eyed, exultant, victorious, laughing. So, speaking of Fork Girl, I actually haven't seen, I don't watch her. I don't follow her. She is represented just someone on Twitch to compete with, to make sure that I get as many views or whatever by playing video games. That's why this happens in the story, if you know the story and how it goes. It's very interesting. And then, "No," Raceland cried. "No," he shrieked in half-strangled tones. It means he's losing his wife. As he hurled Chrysania from him. Trembling and dizzy, he staggered to his feet. It was reminding me that I liked the girl at the bar I was going to tonight as well. His eyes burned in the sunlight. He was asking me how much I actually care about the request that came from a dream. I do care. I'm just scared she'll betray me. The heat upon his robes was stifling, and he felt himself gasping for air. Wow. I thought it was reminding me that he'll be interested in marrying somebody and might watch this. Drawing his black hood over his head. Yikes. Will he want an open relationship? He stood, shaking, trying to regain his composure, his control. Raceland, Crysania cried, clinging to his hand. Her voice was warm with passion. Her touch worsened the pain, even as it promised to ease it. His resolve began to crumble. The pain tore at him. Furiously, Raceland snatched his hand free. Then, his face grim, he reached out and grasped the fragile white cloth of her robes. With a jerk, he ripped it from her shoulders, while with the other hand, he shoved her half-naked body down into the leaves. What? Did I just read that? I'm sorry. Let me repeat that. Wow. She said, Raceland, Crysania cried, clinging to his hand. Her voice was warm with passion. Her touch worsened the pain, even as it promised to ease it. His resolve began to crumble. The pain tore at him. Furiously, Raceland snatched his hand free. Then, his face grim, he reached out and grasped the fragile white cloth of her robes. With a jerk, he ripped it from her shoulders. Really? While, with the other hand, he shoved her half-naked body down into the leaves. He's basically saying, because her shoulders have represented children, it's basically saying, what if we weren't monogamous and had a child? What happens when you leave? Is this what you want? He asked, his voice taut with anger. If so, wait here for my brother. He's bound to be along soon. He paused, struggling for breath. Lying on the leaves, seeing her nakedness reflected starkly in those mirror-like eyes, Crysania clutched the torn cloth to her breast and stared at him wordlessly. Is this what we have come here to attain? Raceland continued relentlessly. I thought your aim was higher, Reverend daughter. You boast a paladin. That's being able to find a date somewhere else. You boast of your powers. Did you think that this might be the answer to your prayers? That I would fall victim to your charms? It's saying, do you think you would hurt me? That shot told. Yes. That's what's entering my mind. Ouch. He saw her flinch, her gaze waver. Closing her eyes, she rolled over, sobbing in agony, clasping her torn robe to her body. Her black hair fell across her bare shoulders. The skin of her back was white and soft and smooth. Turning abruptly, Raceland walked away. He walked rapidly, and as he walked, he felt calm return to him. The ache of passion subsided, leaving him once more able to think clearly. His eyes caught a glimpse of movement, a flash of armor. His smile curled into a sneer. The thought came to me just now that she would rather have a 6'5" man with green skin. That's my brother. As he had predicted, there went Caramon, setting out in search of her. Well, they were welcome to each other. What did it matter to him? He wouldn't have liked her if she was open. Reaching his tent, Raceland entered its cool, dark confines. Thought it was reminding me that I look like I would be open because of the whole golf thing. The sneer still curled his lips, but recalling his weakness, recalling how close he'd come to failure, he was reminding me that I will run into somebody that wants me to take her home tonight. And probably, like, how does that not be true? I know that I would be able to just go up to somebody and kiss her if she was attractive and I wanted her. It would probably be true. I haven't been allowing myself to do something like that. I've already done that with this girl, I believe. And I thought it was reminding me that I could make up an excuse so that I could do that. And maybe that's what she was doing, is what really hurts. And I haven't done it to try to get it to stop. Because I hoped maybe a prayer could reach her. I think I was wrong. I heard her tell me, though. I heard an old version of her tell me things that were extremely romantic, as if it could have worked. Against his will. Wait, hold on. The sneer curled his lips, but recalling his weakness, recalling how close he'd come to failure, recalling against his will her soft, warm lips, it faded. Shaking, he collapsed into a chair and let his head sink into his hands. And my thoughts were going to this bar and sitting down and putting my head into my laptop. Okay, well, that was good. Wow. This book is so cool. It is so fun reading it like that. What a jerk, though, right? I'm thankful. I think everybody who is a Dragonlance fan, for the most part, would be grateful that there's another weird reason he would do that, you know? Because they like that character and they don't want him to do something like rip off her robe. Because that's like, you know, it sounds like an aggressive act. That's something I would never do. I've never done anything like that. My ex-girlfriend made up a lie to get money from her mom. She told me in text messages that she was doing this. And to convince her mom it was real, it actually worked. She got $600 from her. She opened a restraining order. And she had to make up a lie. But I'm thankful that in this lie she made up, she said that I grabbed her wrist in a health food store around people. It actually was true that I did grab her wrist before, but it was while streaming. She was grabbing my keys, and I was just instinctually going, "What are you doing with these?" It didn't hurt her or anything like that. But yeah, that's really sad and messed up that somebody would try to stretch that truth to prevent us from meeting. Okay, I'm going to turn off my Adam Arc Gaming side. So I'm streaming right now in 2 other places. Adam Arc, The Untitled on Twitch, and also just tweeting20s.com. So you should come check out those places. And I am going to keep that going right now, but I'm turning off the Adam Arc Gaming side. So bye-bye. Thank you for checking me out.